So today we're going to tie a Purple Haze, and we're doing it on a size 14 hook. This happens to be a Tiemco 100. I like Tiemco 100s. I like Tiemco 900 BLs. There's tons of good dry fly hooks out there. Go with your favorite dry fly hook. And we're at the point of the season in June where some of the big bug hatches on certain rivers are starting to wane and go away. So we're talking about caddisflies and mayflies for the rest of summer. And anybody who's fished the Purple Haze and knows that it's an awesome fly. You can fish it as duns, you can fish this as spinners, as a PMD, as a general chuck and chance fly. There's got to be a reason why people eat this Purple Haze fly. I'm not exactly sure what it is because it's purple, but we'll tie an original just like the originator. I don't personally know the guy. His name is Andy Carlson, and this is just a great pattern. So here we go. I'm starting with a purple 6/0 thread, and I've got it set up for my post. So we're going to tie that in. A couple of wraps. We're going to stand it up. I'm sure there's some that are real familiar with posting parachute flies. And if I do this perfectly, there'll be a thread wrap or two on top of the hackle, so that when the fish eats the fly and compresses it, the hackle doesn't flip off the top of the post. And that's a fairly important, probably one of the few important things with a parachute fly. These are fairly easy flies to tie. And this is all guesswork. Thinking about the thickness of the body is going to cover up some of the bottom post. I'm going to stop about right there. And I'm going to trim this, but I'm going to trim it long, and I'll put it to length at the end. Okay, my next step is I don't have a Cree, which is the old school way to do Adam style hackling, so we're just taking a whiting grizzly and a whiting brown, and we're going to dump them right in the garbage can. Alright. Right, so we're going to do a brown grizzly mix of hackle, and I've got that stem pre-prepped. Okay, there's one hackle. I need just a little bit more stem there. Okay, now we're going to stand the brown and the grizzly up. And once again, we're just going to send that to the top of the post. Actually, leaving that just a couple of wraps short of our original post. That looks about the spot. Whiting hackle's nice in that it's long and you can get 4, 5, 6 flies off just a couple, one feather when they're long like this or a little bit in the way. Alright, the next piece for the puzzle is putting in the tail, and it's an elk hair tail, and you don't want to go super heavy with the elk hair. Probably, I don't know, 12 to 14 pieces or so. So I'm going to measure the length of that. Put a couple securing wraps on there. I think that proportion looks pretty good. Okay, we're good. Now we're going to get those butts out of there. Stand everything up. Make a little clip, and those will compress down towards the back of the wing or the post here in a second. Okay, so now we're going to tie in, I don't know, you call this stretch floss, flexi floss, sexy floss. Each company that sells it has a different name for it. It's basically a spandex material, and this is great for a couple of reasons. One is if you're doing like a purple haze, you're using purple. If you're using, you know, a yellow haze, you're using yellow. Spinners can be kind of a rusty color, but the thing that's great about this is when you tie it in and get it wet, it stays the exact same color as what you're looking at the vise. When you put floating on, it stays the same color, just never changes. The spandex naturally wants to float, so you don't have problems with the weight of the body trying to sink the fly once it's wet. And we'll just put a little bit of tension on that as we tie it back to the same point where we stopped the tail. Just like so. We're going to get this rear 2/3 and front third of the body done all at the same time here. So I'm just going to build just a little bit of a taper with the thread and prepare it for the body wrap. Okay, there we are. So I think the key to getting a nice profile is put a little bit of tension on this flexi floss or spandex when you start wrapping it, and as you move forward, we're going to relax the tension as you're wrapping. Okay, and just touching wraps going forward, a little bit of tension. This is the third wrap. I'm going to start relaxing the tension. And you're starting to see the body build just a little bit, right? Relax the tension. Okay, move forward past the post. This stuff just makes great dry fly bodies. If you've ever tried a purple X-Caddis with this material, it's also an excellent fly. Okay, and just to make sure I don't bump this and ruin my body, put a quick, just a 2-turn whip finish on it, maybe 3. Okay, we're set. And you can wrap both hackles simultaneously. I've always done brown first and then come back with grizzly. You can add the grizzly to the brown to get your proportion. I think it's much easier than adding the brown to the grizzly. Okay, 1. 2. 3. 4 full turns. I might go 1 more. Brown only, please. That's good. Now I'm going to stand everything up. Try to catch those hackle fibers. I can pull these out with the scissors. One, 2. All right, now we're going to go back and just add the grizzly to our brown. And I bet you can't see this on the video, but there's just a couple wraps of thread on the high side of the post. And when fish have this in their mouth and bend it over, they won't pull the hackle off the top of the post, which is great. 3, and I'm guessing 4 turns of grizzly is going to get me right in the perfect amount of mix there. Okay, again, we're going to stand that up. Catch the fibers, take anything out that I don't need. One, 2, 3. Pull these guys up, trim them out of there. Build that little thread head and whip finish. Okay, we're done. So the final primping, stand that post up, get the hackle all back in place, and then we want to cut that wing to length, just about like that. And there you have a Purple Haze. It's a great fly. Give it a shot. It works for most hatches, spring, summer, and fall.